The giggle on the phone. Last night, my friend dragged me out of the house to catch the opening act at a local dive bar. The night was casual, loud, and filled with laughter. But amid the noise, I realized something was wrong. My phone was gone. I retraced every step, checked our table, the bar, even the bathrooms. No sign of it. Finally, I used my friend's phone to call mine. It rang twice. Then someone picked up. A low, dry, raspy giggle echoed on the other end, and the call cut off. No one picked up after that. My stomach dropped. That sound wasn't normal. Uneasy, I went home. When I walked into my room, there it was. My phone, just sitting on my nightstand, charged, untouched, exactly where I left it. But someone or something had answered it. The wrong school bus. When I was a kid, I was always the last one the bus picked up. One chilly morning, I stood alone at the stop when an empty school bus pulled up. No kids inside. The driver, a pale man with sunken eyes, smiled unnaturally and waved. "Come on, kid, hop in. We're getting the others next." Something about him made my skin crawl. I asked, "Where are the other kids?" He just kept insisting, voice growing firmer. "Get in, kid. Hurry up." I refused. After a few moments of silence, he simply shrugged and drove off. A few minutes later, the real bus arrived, packed with the usual kids. That night, when I told my parents, their faces went pale. They frantically made phone calls. No one had sent another bus. Whoever that driver was, he wasn't from the school district or anywhere familiar. The neighbor with the dead dog. A few years ago, I moved into an apartment owned by a friend. It was freshly renovated, clean, and affordable. But my next-door neighbor made the place a waking nightmare. She looked far older than her age, with stringy gray hair and eyes that didn't blink enough. Every night she would blast religious talk radio and argue loudly with invisible people. Eventually, I had enough. I knocked and asked her politely to lower the volume. She opened the door slightly, just enough for me to see inside. The walls were covered in hand-painted crosses and chaotic writing like, "Save me," and "They're inside." The windows were blacked out with paint. No natural light at all. The carpet looked soaked with something foul. No dog in sight, but the apartment stank like rot. That night, while my girlfriend was over, I woke up to see a figure beside the bed. At first, I thought I was dreaming, until it spoke. It was her. "You should lock your door," she whispered, clutching something metallic in her hand, then walked out silently. The next morning, she stood outside my window, talking in tongues and holding a rotting plastic bag. Inside it was her dead dog, decomposing in the summer heat. That smell never leaves you. I called the police. Turns out she was a known violent schizophrenic, but because she owned her place, they couldn't intervene unless she left voluntarily. I waited 2 nights for her to go get cigarettes. When she finally did, I called the cops. They arrived fast and took her away. She vanished into an institution. I still see her in nightmares, staring at me from the dark. The smile on my mother's bike. It was nearly midnight. I was finishing my shift in a lonely industrial district when a rock crashed through the front window. There was no one around. I called security, then left for the night, nerves on edge. As I drove, I tried to calm down until I remembered something. I never unlocked my car. It was open when I got in. I hadn't even touched the key fob. I scanned the back seat, heart racing, nothing. Still uneasy, I later biked to meet a friend. As I pedaled under the moonlight, I felt someone behind me. They slowly passed by on another bike. When they got beside me, they turned and smiled. It was a deranged, animalistic grin, like they knew something I didn't, and they were riding my mom's bike. I raced home, heart pounding. Her bike was gone, and one of my car's back doors, the one I never used, was wide open. Someone had been in my car. Someone who smiled like a lunatic. Someone still out there. The 4:17 a.m. payphone. I worked the night shift at a remote campground, isolated and wrapped in black forest. My coworker, who was leaving the job, warned me about the payphone outside the shack. It rings every night, 4:17 a.m. just once. Don't answer it. For months, I kept the window closed, never heard a thing. But one humid August night, I left it open. And at 4:17 exactly, the phone rang. The sound wasn't right. It echoed like it was underwater. The next night, I set my alarm and picked it up. No one spoke, just silence. I whispered, "Hello?" Over and over, nothing. I did this for a week, same result. Then in early October, I tried again. I answered, and this time, someone was there. The line hissed. I heard shallow, harsh breathing, like someone sucking air through broken teeth. Then a voice, low and inhuman, rasped my full name. First, middle, and last. I couldn't breathe. I hung up and immediately dialed *69. The call came from California. I live in Indiana. I quit that job the next morning. Want me to generate a thumbnail or video script based on this rewritten version?